ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar. We are very fortunate to have with us Revered Swami Gautamananda ji Maharaj, Vice President of Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission Beluru Mutt, and Adhyaksha of Ramakrishna Mutt Chennai. We are all spiritual seekers. Many times we get questions in our mind, doubts in our mind, and we want some seniors to answer our questions. And many times we don't get right people. So it is a very good opportunity for all of us. Maharaj has come to Pune for temple dedication program. He is with us and he is a senior Swamiji. So I requested Maharaj kindly if we answer some of the important questions often asked by spiritual seekers, and Maharaj has kindly agreed. So today we are going to have answers from Swamiji, and questions are common. Usually devotees or the sadhakas, they have these questions in their mind. So same questions on behalf of all sadhakas I will put to Maharaj, and Maharaj will answer them, and we will get solutions for our problems, our spiritual journey. So now we will request Swamiji to answer our questions. Here is a question from devotee. I have taken initiation and I am regularly practicing spiritual sadhana for a long time. However, I don't feel I have made any progress in my spiritual life. Can you please guide me?
You see, taking initiation and practicing spiritual practices is all right, but to check how we are progressing, how much we are progressing, it's rather a difficult thing. In general, we can say any spiritual progress must be accompanied by change in our life. Usually, the spiritual practices will bring into us truthfulness. These are some spiritual fundamentals, what you can call as the spiritual values, fundamentals values of spiritual life. So when we progress, that means we are doing japa, we are doing meditation, we are getting up early in the morning, and we are trying to lead a regular life. So when we are doing this one regularly, then we can see slowly that we become more and more truthful, more and more honest, more and more straightforward. All this is signified by that word truthfulness. So a spiritual man grows in his truthfulness. It is one of the most important checks we can make. Suppose before I took up to spiritual life, I was telling 10 lies in a day. Slowly, telling the lies will become less. From 10 it may become 5, 5 it may become 2, and later on I may not tell any lie at all. What does that mean? I grow in courage. I know when I am right, there is nothing to be afraid of. So I start telling truth and be honest and straightforward. So that means this tremendous spiritual progress. Because truthfulness is considered as the main quality of a spiritual person. Sri Ramakrishna went to the extent of saying that a person who is truthful always is already sitting on the lap of God. That means whatever he says will become true. He will have that power behind his speech. So truthfulness, growth in truthfulness is one of the sure signs of our spiritual progress. Similarly, the noble thinking, pure thinking. Pure thinking is just like we like our own family people. I love my father, I love my mother, I love my sisters, I love my brothers. So there is no question of any selfishness. Always is all unselfish. I love my father and mother. I don't expect anything from them. Like that, I love my sister and brother. I don't expect anything. I love them. Suppose they are in difficulty, I go and help them. Forget about my helping them. It is me. He is my brother. He is my sister. I have helped. So this sort of a selflessness in our love. This is called purity in thought. Purity in thought means all thoughts must be without any selfishness. I deal with everyone. So I may help somebody with something physical. I should not expect anything, just as I do not expect anything when I help my brother or sister. If we can deal with society, a spiritual man will do that. For a spiritual man, the whole world is his family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. In Sanskrit, they say this whole world is our own family because we are all children of God. Everyone in the world is a children of God. Everyone in the universe is a child of God. So we belong to a family of God. If that is so, everybody in this world is a brother or a sister or a father or a mother. So unselfishness must spontaneously flow. That is one of the sure signs of spirituality. When you begin to love everyone, try to help everyone, but without any selfish motive. Selfless love, this should develop. We can notice ourselves. We usually, biological circle, where we are born into a family, we love only those brothers and sisters. And as if others are outside. But a really spiritual person grows beyond this boundary of family ties. Anybody, any person, any woman, any man, any young man or young woman, they consider themselves younger brother, younger sister, elder brother, elder sister, father, mother. This is a sure sign of becoming pure in mind. Our thought will always be selfless. We go to help selflessly. We never expect anything. So this is how we can check up our spiritual progress. Third value, spiritual value that must grow along with our spiritual life is the spirit of selfless help, selfless service. We feel like helping somebody. I am not satisfied with my own helping myself or my own small family circle. I feel like going out to help somebody else who is outside my family. So unless I do that one, I somehow feel suffocated. I cannot be happy with my own single family and helping them. They are helping me. So growing in heart to love everybody and serve them. Serving itself means helping others without any selfish motive. This is called service. The spirit of service must go. Selflessness must grow. That is a sure sign of our spiritual progress. And fundamental to all these things is this faith in an infinite spirit, which is God. We call it as God, you can call it by any other name. But an infinite spirit controls the whole universe, controls every individual and controls the whole universe. Faith in that infinite spirit, which is, we are part and parcel of that spirit. That infinite spirit is our father, is our mother. So we have got a loving relationship with it, like with our parents. God is our father, God is our mother, and He is existing. So faith in God is a great spiritual quality. Spirituality cannot come to an atheist. He does not believe in an infinite God. And when the God steps into our soul, we are individual souls. God is the supreme soul, soul of all souls. When God gets into our life becomes expanded. Unless we believe in an infinite God, who is the Father of everybody, and we think that we are His children, then we become a family of the whole world. So this faith in God, who is the Father and Mother, who is protecting, creating the world, protecting the world, and taking it back into Him again. God creates, it is said in all the scripture, the whole universe out of Himself. He is there in the universe. He will take it back into Himself. It's a question of evolution and involution. So this is taking place. So we are part and parcel of that infinite sport of God. God is creating, God is maintaining, God is taking it back, involving the whole thing into Himself. So in this power we must believe. More we believe in it, all the selfless love to everyone spontaneously flow. Because I feel I'm one with God. I am a part and parcel of God's creation. Everyone is a part and parcel of creation. We are all related to one another. Greater thing is, we not only feel one with the human beings, we feel one with other beings also, other animals also, even plants and other inanimate things also. Animate, inanimate, everything becomes a loving thing because it is part and parcel of creation, which is our own Father's creation. We are all connected with one another. So this great love for the whole creation comes with the faith in God. And when once we have got faith in God, we have got also the desire to see Him, to know more palpably. Now we hear about God, but we feel we should see God just as we see our father and mother. Here is an infinite Father, so I want to see Him. Desire for seeing God comes, which we call as spiritual yearning, a desire to know God. How to know God? He is our own. I am His child. But I should see. How can I see? Then we go in search of a teacher who has realized God. That is called getting a guru. We go in search of a guru. We feel like going to search, in search of a guru who will instruct us to see God. This is another the quality of a spiritual seeker. Day by day, he starts yearning to have a vision of God, to have an intimate experience of God. So these are all fundamental things that must happen in our life. And other things, as people say, somebody saw some good dream where they saw God's different forms, Shiva, Krishna, Kali. That may happen, that may not happen. It is not very important. Just as amongst us, many of us dream many things. Many of us do not dream at all. We don't worry about that. Oh, she or he has dreamt, I could not dream, so I am inferior. We never feel it. It is a question of psychological difference. So some people see dreams, some people do not. It has nothing to do with our progress in spiritual life. So this is how the fundamental spiritual values must grow in us. When we grow, we can check ourselves. I myself can check. So when I was not a purely truthful man, strict truthful man, I was not so courageous. I was not so fearless. As I become more and more truthful, I don't care for anyone. I tell the truth straight at anybody's face. What can you do? It is the truth. It gives you courage. It will give you heroism. It will give you incentive to go forward. So this should happen in the spiritual life. That is how we can check up our own progress.
The scriptures say that one should serve the Guru. However, I don't get any such opportunity. How then to serve the Guru?
You see, this problem is there because in the earlier times, whoever was the spiritual guru, he did not have many students, maybe 50 or 40 or 30. It was like a residential university. The guru's house was the university. He was always available, so he could be served. And serving the guru does not mean only physically, to follow his teachings and to digest it and make progress in spiritual life is what the Guru expects. If we can achieve that, that itself is a great service to Guru. Simply going and physically serving the Guru is not necessary for everyone, nor is the Guru will need it. Suppose Guru has 30 students, 30 people, what physical help can they do? One person is enough to help him. It is all superfluous. All need not serve physically the Guru. We must bear this in point. And at that time there were only 30 or 35 students and one Guru was there. They lived with the Guru. So they used to serve him. So perhaps they would help him taking the bath and washing his clothes, keeping his room tidy, or keeping other things tidy. So small thing they used to do. But now the students are in thousands, the spiritual seekers are in thousands, and gurus now have, like the Ramakrishna mission. I speak on behalf of only the Ramakrishna mission. I don't believe that I represent all other institutions. Whenever I talk about the traditions of the Ramakrishna mission. So in the Ramakrishna mission, our President Maharaj, Vice President Maharaj, they initiate thousands of people. They have got thousands of disciples. So all of them cannot physically serve him. There is no necessity also. And what is then how do they serve the Guru? The scriptures ask us to serve the Guru. Swami Vivekananda has said very significantly. You see the whole different organizations that are running in the name of Sri Ramakrishna. That means different branch centers of our headquarters, Belur Mutt. It is all over in India. We got about 300 centers. Outside India, we got about 50 centers, 60 centers. All over the world, our centers are there. Swami Vivekananda said, each center of Sri Ramakrishna, that means each Ramakrishna Mission center, is a physical body of Sri Ramakrishna. So, if the Guru is to be served, our highest Guru is Sri Ramakrishna. To serve Sri Ramakrishna, you don't have to go to Belur Mutt. You can serve the nearest center you have. We are initiated by some center. For example, the devotees of Pune, they take Diksha here. If they give some service to this Pune center, they will be serving the Guru. This is how Swami Vivekananda solved this problem. He said, the whole Sangha, the order, the monks, and the different centers of the order, they are all together. They represent Sri Ramakrishna's physical form. Sri Ramakrishna is working physically through all these centers. You help any center in any way. You can help the center financially. You can give manual help. Now you are recording this one as suppose service to the ashrama. This also is a service to the ashrama. In any way you serve any ashram, then you will be serving Guru himself. So to serve a Guru, you don't have to go to the Guru himself, who is sitting in some place. Wherever you are, serve the cause of Sri Ramakrishna that is being worked out through any of our centers. So serving the center is the way of serving the Guru, and follow his teachings and progress in spiritual life. That is the greatest service we can do. What does the Guru expect? He doesn't expect anything from you. At least the conception of a spiritual Guru in us, in India, even today, is Guru does not expect anything from the student. If ever he himself helps the student in physical ways to stay with him, gives him food and raiment and shelter, and teaches him free. So knowledge is always to be given free. It should never be charged. That is the spiritual value we always entertain in our hearts. All our gurus follow this. Never teach for money. You teach, and if the disciple want to give you help you in some way, he will do it on his own, but never charge. So knowledge is too valuable a thing to be charged. So always knowledge is to be given out of love. So Guru has given the knowledge through love, we follow that and make spiritual progress. That is their great service to the Guru. This is how, in these modern times, we can serve the Guru.
I practice Japa. During Japa, my mind keeps wandering. How to control this restless mind?
You see, the Japa and meditation, these two are very important things in the spiritual practice. These two are, in fact, one leading to the other. The great acharyas, I remember now, one of the best books that can teach you about japa and meditation is The Meditation and Spiritual Life by Swami Yatishwarananda. One of the best books that has been produced by anywhere any agency in the world. Because this Swami had an experience of all the spiritual practices here in the East. He spent also in the West on more than almost near 20 years outside. So he has experience of the Western spiritual aspirants and the Eastern spiritual aspirants, and a great realized soul himself. So he has written that book, one of the most valuable books. He writes about Japa. He said Japa and meditation. Japa is the step to real meditation. Real meditation is continuously thinking of God. It's called meditation. So continuously think of God means your mind does not waver at all. Your mind is like the unflickering lamp. When does the lamp become unflickering? When there is no disturbance of air. This air is the different desires. If you have air in the room, the lamp will be flickering. So you cannot get good light. Similarly, mind also, when it becomes desireless, there is no air. It just is very bright and it is one-pointed. So when one-pointed flow of thought is there towards God, it's called meditation. To make that one-pointed mind, so we require earlier practice. That is, first of all, we do not think about God. We just look at the form of God, whichever form appeals to us. Some people may meditate on God as Rama, God as Krishna, God as Shiva, God as Ramakrishna, or Buddha. So you have a form in front of you, in the mind. Then you look at him as a living person. Living person is sitting in front of you. And you look at him and go on repeating the name. You don't, in meditation, we think about him. Thinking means mental talking. Mental talking is thinking. So we look at the living figure of our Devta, then we talk to him. It's called meditation. But without talking, I'm feeling the presence of God inside my mind. But I look at him and out of great love go on repeating his name. That is called Japa. Japa is feeling the presence of God in front of you and repeating the name. Just like we sit in front of in a temple before the Krishna or Rama statue and we go on repeating the name. Rama, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. We feel a joy, just filling up our heart. That is what japa means. So this will come through practice. In the beginning, the mind goes this way and that way. But if we just suggest to the mind, our mind is like a child. It learns by suggestion. This is the great statement by Swami Brahmanandaji, a great spiritual stalwart. Our mind itself can be taught by auto-suggestion. So we can tell the mind, when you're taking the name of God, you look at the figure of God, or think about God. So the japa and meditation become one also. So japa will lead you to meditation. Look at the figure of God as living, and then go on repeating the name. Suppose you feel your mind has wandered away, then tell the mind, oh mind, why do you wander away? You are supposed to look at the figure of Sri Ramakrishna and then tell the name. Why did you run away? If you tell that, the mind comes back. So first time, the first few days, it may wander about 10 times in an hour. Later on, slowly, it wanders 5 times. Then after 2 times. Afterwards, it does not wander at all. You repeat the name, go on thinking about God, seeing His presence. Japa melts into meditation. So this is how, slowly by practice. And for practice, you must have that conviction. I have got this mantra. Japa is the repetition of the mantra, which has been received by a competent guru. A pure soul has given the mantra. You must have faith in that one. God Himself, as Guru, has come to me and has given this mantra. I shall certainly realize God by repetition of the mantra. Why? Because of my Guru has told. You repeat this mantra will destroy all your sinful thoughts or wicked thoughts and brings into you all good thoughts and good samskaras, good impressions, and it will enable you to see God. My Guru has told this, so I have faith in this. Greater the faith, lesser will be the wandering away. With great faith, go on repeating, and slowly, slowly, the wandering in the mind will stop. You cannot just straight away happen. It may take some months, maybe some years also. But it certainly happens. It has happened in all the cases. In our case, in your case, what will happen?
If I practice japa and meditation for long hours, I get headache and peculiar sensation in my heart. Should I continue my sadhana in such conditions?
Actually, practicing of japa and meditation, however long it may be, it should not produce headache. Because headache is something connected with our nervous system. So the meditation and japa will soothe the nerves. Always it gives a joyful feeling. So however long it is, nobody say, I slept too long, therefore I am tired. So they do not go. Sleeping means it is a soothing of the nerves, becoming fresh. So similarly, meditation is greater than sleep. That's what the great teachers say. If you meditate well, it is as good as having greater than good sleep. So what here the practicing person means is, he is practicing it haphazardly. He is not practicing the meditation and japa in the proper way. First of all, he must correct whether he is following correctly the method of meditation and japa. Number two, if I practice japa, meditate for long hours, he says, long hours you need not do. In the beginning stage, all the great teachers say, instead of meditating for 3 hours at a time, meditate 3 times, 1 hour each time. If you find any difficulty in 3 hours meditation, split it into 3. Once you meditate for 1 hour, after 2 or 3 hours rest, then though 3 hours meditation is over, but at the same time you will not get headache. In the beginning stage that can be tried, and if that helps, then slowly make 1 hour into 1.5, make in 2 stages. Afterwards, naturally when it becomes smooth and enjoyable, then 3 hours by, he can go to 30 hours also, he will enjoy it.
This is a common question that if I get early in the morning, I feel sleepy during my meditation in the morning. How to avoid this sleepiness?
You see, this is a problem with almost all the beginners. Get up early in the morning is a very hazy way of telling it. What early hours, what does that mean? Does it mean 4 o'clock in the morning, or 5 o'clock in the morning, or 6 o'clock in the morning?
4 o'clock in the morning.
It depends upon the person. One brahmachari came to our ashrama. So when all the swamis were getting up at 4 o'clock, he would come at 6 o'clock. Then the head of the center asked, you see, you have come to become a brahmachari here. All of us are getting early. You must also get up early. Then he said, yes, I get up early at 6 o'clock. I said, what? We are all getting at 4, don't you see? Sir, at what time were you getting up in your house? Perhaps you were getting about 5 o'clock. Now you are getting up at 4 o'clock, 1 hour less. I was getting up at home at 9 o'clock. I am getting at 6 o'clock. You see, I am getting much earlier than you. It's sort of a relative thing. So let us now assume it is something like 5 o'clock in the morning. When most of us say early. Early morning is 5 o'clock. So when he gets at 5 o'clock, if he feels sleepy, that means he has got less of sleep. It is said according to age, the medical people say that you must have 5 to 6 hours of sleep is enough. For a healthy person, 5 to 6 hours of sleep is necessary. But when one advances in spiritual life, you can reduce it to 4 hours also, or even less. But in the beginning, for ordinary people, 5 to 6 hours sleep is necessary. So if he gets early morning sleepy, let him check up at what time did he go to bed. So let him go to bed a little earlier, so that he will get the 5 hours full sleep. So he may overcome this. This is one. Number two, he must have if the spiritual practice like japa or meditation is cumbersome, he is not enjoying it, then also sleepiness will come. Therefore, so he must make it enjoyable. Therefore, he must think about how he will meditate, on what theme he will meditate. For meditating for 1 hour, so I will think about 2 incidents in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, his birth and his growth in Kamarpukur. So this much I will think in 1 hour. He must have clear idea about what spiritual practice he will do, meditation. And I will take 1000 japa. I will do 1000 japa. During that japa also, I think about Sri Ramakrishna's life, this incident, how Sri Ramakrishna came in the life of Holy Mother, how he worshipped her. All these things I will think, I will do 1000 japa. Yes, if he is specific, his mind knows what is to be done. So it is not disinclined. It is already agreed. When it is said, he has agreed, he can sit for meditation, do 1000 japa, and then another 1/2 hour meditation. 1 hour meditation without sleepiness he can do. Let him be specific about what he will do during the meditation, and let him get up quite early so that his full quota of sleep is finished. Suppose he is gone late in the night, after practice, he can split these 5 hours into 2 sessions. In the night he can sleep for 3 hours, and another 2 hours he can make them in the afternoon. If he can do that, then also he will not sleep. So it takes a little training. You can train your mind, take 5 full hours of sleep, then you overcome this. Or get yourself used to take 2 hours sleep in the afternoon, with 3 hours in the night. Suppose you go to bed even at 2 o'clock, at 5 o'clock you can get up and you will be fresh. But most important is, we must feel inclined for meditation and japa, for which we must be specific. This is my meditation theme, this is my japa theme. I will do this in 1 hour. If he is specific, most probably he will overcome this thing. And of course, physical health. He must keep up his physical health. Overeating. Overeating will always create trouble. Even after 5 hours of sleep also, if you overeat, your mind will not become calm. That he should be careful. All overeating, overdoing, overplaying, all over must be over. It should be given up. Nothing should be overdone. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. It must be always the specifically known amount, not beyond that. We must have always be within our limits. Unlimited grapes, unlimited speech, unlimited training is not at all good for a spiritual aspirant.
What is the difference between japa, prayer, and meditation?
As I've already explained to you,
Yes.
japa is what will lead us to meditation. See, when the student comes for spiritual practice, the teacher always tells him, you see, first of all, you have a desire for the spiritual thing. So I want, in spiritual thing, what do we want? We are somehow or other not satisfied with our present life. With the present life, some of us, we get awakened. Everything is fleeting. Nothing is permanent. For example, almost every one young man, he feels, I will be happy if I serve my father and mother all my life. I don't require anything. Because his father and mother are very good. They loved him and he also loves to serve them. And he says, all my life I can be serving them and enjoy this joy of service. And my parents are also so good. And if they are with me, I don't require anything else. I will live alone as a bachelor. I don't want anybody to come and disturb this joy of my life. Most of the young people think like that. But how can it happen? Parents always, at the midstream, they go and go. They have not come along with you. They will not go along with you. So you are, when you are 40s, they go away. Then, crisis comes. What is this? I was serving my parents, I was so peaceful, so joyful. And they were also happy. But they have left. It is a natural course. What will happen to me? What will keep him back? Whom will I serve now? He cannot love anybody as a parent and serve. So we find transitoriness of life. at some stage or other. And even by thinking also, by looking at others' condition also, we can come to this conclusion. Everything is transitory, nothing is permanent, but we want something permanent. So it is very natural for man to ask for something permanent. It is something like, I don't want to live in a rented house. I want to live in my own house. What does that mean? I want something permanent. In rented house, there is no permanency. Everybody wants to leave the rented house and create his own house. It is a question of always human tendency. We want something permanent. Nothing is permanent in this world. So a little thinking will convince people. So everything in this world is changing. One thing is not changing is God. So I must hold on to God. How to hold on to God? So God has already said, whoever thinks about me, whoever loves me from the bottom of his heart, I am always with him. So how to love God? So to love God is to think about him, to love him, and in his name do all good things, and God is there in everybody. So to serve everybody thinking that I am serving God himself. If you go into the temple also you see God. Come out and then serve the people also, there also you are serving God. So see God everywhere. So this is how we start with Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means serving everyone, thinking that God is there in everyone. Serve the poor, the needy, and the mind gets what you call as this selflessness will come. This selflessness is called the purification of the mind. These selfish thoughts always disturb the mind. All the desires will not disturb you. Suppose you have desire, I want to help this whole village. It will not disturb you. It will give you more and more joy. Whereas when you think, I will possess this whole village, they must all vote for me, I must become an MLA. If you think like that, immediately restlessness will come. Will those fellows do? Half the village may do, another half may not do. I must punish that half fellows. So your mind is restless. So selfishness creates always restlessness. So selflessness must come. That is purification of the mind. This should take first. And then we come to Japa and meditation. The teachers say with that little attachment to God. When you love God, you love to repeat his name. Just like a child goes on repeating Amma, Amma, Amma. It just knows one word. But with that one Amma word, he goes on thinking about the glory of Amma, that small child. Exactly like that. When we feel we are the children of God, we love God, so the Guru gives the mantra. This is the mantra. If you go on uttering, God will come to you. You utter it 10,000 times, 15,000 times, you will feel the presence of God. Guru says, and with that faith in these Gurus, when we repeat the mantra and try to feel the presence of God, it's called Japa. And this Japa matures, then you need not repeat the mantra. Your mind will flow ceaselessly towards God. Just as we are looking at Sri Ramakrishna's picture, but we don't see the picture. We see Sri Ramakrishna sitting with life, full of life. He is looking at you, he is smiling at you. You also looking at him and smiling at him. So mentally, you are aware about Sri Ramakrishna's presence. So when somebody is aware and he is standing in front of you, you can talk to him. Just like the children come, they see mother is there. They come, stand before the mother. Mother, I saw such and such a thing. They start talking. Like that, we see Sri Ramakrishna living and then we talk to him. So this talking mentally is thinking. So when we go on talking to Sri Ramakrishna about himself, for God, always he likes his own glories. When we go to the temple, we utter stotras. Stotra means hymns. Or we sing bhajan. What is there in the bhajan? Glory of God himself. Glory of God himself. We tell the glorious things about God himself to him. Similarly, here also, we see in the Japa, our Ishta Devata, Sri Ramakrishna is there. We see him living, sitting in front of us, smiling at us. And we also look into his eyes and go on telling, Sir, I have heard about you, that you came to this world, into Kamarpukur village. There you played, you enacted so many of your sports. You went to the school, but you never learnt anything from the school, but became a great scholar without reading. You went into the temple of Kali, so you never followed any Shastric rules, but Kali gave you darshan. You used to talk to her. So you go on talking to Sri Ramakrishna about his own glory. So it is a continuous flow of thought. You are talking to him means continuous flow of thought. That is the meditation. So from japa, it melts into meditation. Japa leads you to meditation. So in meditation, the flow of thought is important. In japa, the repetition of continuously name and feeling the presence of God. It is a lower step, but real true step to meditation.
This question already you have answered, that devotees see Ramakrishna in dream and some get some spiritual experiences. But I don't get any such experience. Does it mean that I am not progressing in my spiritual life? Many people think
This
like
I have already told.
I already told that.
So you can check it up with your
Yes.
progress in your spiritual values. Spiritual values and other things also. We can observe within ourselves. These many seeing such things, it is a psychological type of minds. Some people's minds are formed like that. They can see everything as pictures, like the artists. The artists, so they whenever they get an idea, immediately they see pictures. Similarly, some people are there. If they hear anything in the dream, they see what they've heard in pictures. And many people do not do that. Many people, they may hear, and that sound itself is enough for them. They don't want to picturize that. So they don't see dreams. One of the great disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Shardananda, he never had many visions. So he complained, you see, so many people are having visions, I did not. Then it was not Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda who said, you see, Sharat does not see any visions. But does it mean he is not progressing? He is more progressed than others. So it is a psychological type of difference. One need not bother whether one has such dreams or not. And dreams are dreams. It is a great, sometimes it is an obstacle. Many people go on doting upon their dreams. Swami, I saw such a dream. What is the meaning of that one? We always write to them. Dream is a dream. Suppose in dream you get 10 lakhs of rupees. Do you feel very happy about it? Suppose you lost 10 lakhs. Do you worry about it? Dream is a dream, good or bad. You have got a good dream. Think that it is a good dream and be happy with it. That's all.
At the minimum, how much time we should spend in sadhana every day?
You see, there is nothing like a minimum time. How much time do we want? How much time we can make in our life? All of us, from our young age, by the time we grow 5 years old, 6 years old, we have got a routine to follow. Nowadays, this education, universal education has come. All have to go to schools outside. Formerly, children used to be taught at home itself. But now everybody has to go to school. That means a boy has got a routine from his 5th year itself. So, as we grow up, this routine becomes longer and longer. So, there is a time for prayer usually. In an ordinary household is 15 or half an hour in the morning and 15 minutes or half an hour in the evening. That is the time when usually mothers used to pray. Father is busy. So in our time, mothers would be housewives. There were very few women who went for work. Here also now, except in big cities, rural areas, mothers are there at home. And mothers always sit for prayer in the morning and evening. Say about 15 minutes or half an hour in the morning, they make the children sit with them, they pray, they sing 1 or 2 bhajans, and then offer some flowers. And then maybe some good things she tells the children, some stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata. This about half an hour in the morning, this is all we do. We are used to it. When we grow up also, when we get into our careers, when we become householders, then the household and other duties take away all our time. Only that half an hour only we are going to do. So that is all the time we give. So that is the minimum you are giving. If you have to give more, you have to curtail your other duties. Other duties, if you curtail means, that means you have to curtail your desires. Why do we go on working from morning till night? Our grandfathers, They worked only for 4 hours, 5 hours. Those people who went to office, they would go at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, the office would be over. 5 o'clock, they would be back at home. 6 hours. Afterwards, no other work for earning money. All other time for his own welfare, his own self-culture, and helping others to become culture. Nowadays, they work from morning till to evening 9. Why? They want to earn more. Those people who were satisfied with small amount and simple life. We want now luxurious life. Therefore, we have to earn more. So, morning 9 to evening 9. Then where is this time for sadhana? So, what is a minimum how much time you should do? However much time you can make from your daily routine, and that depends upon how much more interest you have in spirituality. In spiritual life, you go for something permanent, that is permanent joy, permanent peace, and infinite knowledge. So, spiritual life means we want to become immortal ourselves. We want to know that we are immortal. We are as spiritual beings, but we have forgotten that. We have identified ourselves with our body, though so we think we are old. You are not old, your body is old. Then who is that who is not old? It is the Atman. I am that Atman. This knowing this one is what is called as getting immortal life. In spirituality, we want immortal life. We want infinite knowledge. We want infinite love and joy. So, however, the more we love this, then less we love the world. In the world, everything is limited. Everything is transitory. Today, parents are there with you, and after 4 years, they are all gone. Maybe the spouse is with you, spouse goes away. So, divorce will happen. All sorts of things happen. Everything is temporary. Therefore, hold on to God. And how to hold on to God? Through japa, through prayer, associating with the holy people. And those holy people who live 24 hours in God, they are an inspiration. So more and more if we love that, if I love satsang, if I love living in the association of holy people, if I love japa, if I love prayers more, automatically you will scrape out time from your routine. That is how you can give maximum time. Yes. There no fixed hours can be given. More you love God, more you love spiritual life. More you love spiritual life, you will give less time for the mundane life or the worldly life. Worldly life, you have to live honorably. To live honorably, we require a limited amount. We want money in life, but all money itself is not life. You may have millions and millions, you may have no peace in life. So we want some money to enact. So put a stop at a place. So limited money, I want to earn 50,000 rupees a month. Only do that. For that one, if you work for 5 hours is enough. But people are not satisfied. No, my old age also. So for old age, all day you require another 50,000. So old age. And afterwards you get 1 lakh a month. Then they say, no, my sons and daughters, for them I want to deposit. So you would earn another 50. So endless. So this sort of a fascination for money and worldliness cannot give you time for sadhana. So the more sadhana means more time. This more time becomes if you love less, the wealth of this world, which is after all very temporary. People have huge sums of money. Can you ever think a person like a Tata or like a Birla's son, 48,000 crores was the money he got when the money was divided between 2 brothers. In Calcutta, 2 brothers, they got the division from their father. 48,000 crores each. But one brother got another a few crores more. The younger brother went to court. What? You get a few thousand crores more? I must get it. 48,000 crores. In 40 lives you cannot spend. You see, greed. So for them there is no time. So limit your desires and limit the activities of the mundane world, then more time you get. But that is the time. Whatever you get, you utilize. That is all can. There is no question of minimum. When you get joy in spiritual life, however much you do, you feel it is minimum. All of us who enjoy our meditation or japa or contemplation, we always feel oh, if there were more time, we could do more, because we have got also our routine, though it is for the service of God. But then we always feel we are short of time. So there is nothing minimum time for sadhana. Sadhana is enjoyable. For enjoyment there is no spiritual enjoyment, there is no limit. More time, more sadhana. And minimum time you can make from out of your own life.
How to cultivate interest and yearning for God realization?
God realization is the last point. God realization comes, as Sri Ramakrishna says, when you pine and pant for God. Just a person is drowning in water. A guru took his disciple and then just pushed his head under water. And this person is struggling for breath, but the guru is not leaving. So, oh, Guruji, leave, I am dying. Then, the guru left him and then said, you are asking me about the yearning for God. When we can realize God, this is the yearning you should have. For a breath of life, how you shouted, you lost all respect for me. Guruji, are you a criminal? You are killing me. Leave me. So much is in your panting for your breath, you lost all other consciousness that you are a disciple. So this should happen. You forget everything about the world. I want only God. Sri Ramakrishna used to give the example of a child crying for mother. Sri Ramakrishna himself would throw the two hands like that. A child, when it yearns for mother, it will cry like that, with two hands like that. So if you can cry for God, that comes when you pant for God. That means you have lost all interest in life. That is a great distance we have to go. So this yearning will come slowly, as we already discussed. Less we are selfless, less we are selfish, more we become selfless. Selflessness gives us more concentration. And this more concentration, we can do japa and then later meditation. And meditation will give you the joys of spiritual life. Great peace you enjoy. Great health you enjoy. Physical health also improves. So always calm mind and one-pointed mind. Anything that other people can read and understand in 1 hour, you can understand in 10 minutes. Swami Vivekananda used to understand in a few minutes the whole book. So joys, all the joys will come to you. Then you go more deeper. At that last stage, then you come to the yearning. So yearning we come through the different steps of spiritual life we have already discussed. First of all, purification of the mind, making our selfish desires less and less, selfless work more and more. Then afterwards, starting with japa, slowly increasing japa, come to meditation, slowly increase meditation. And through the enjoyment of meditation, we get the grace of God. For God realization, the yearning will come as our intense desire for God, which is a grace of God Himself. God Himself gives us this yearning, just as God gives us that yearning in the heart of the child for the mother. Where is mother? The child cries. How does it? God gives that love for it. Similarly, He gives us love for Himself. When God bestows His love upon us, we yearn for Him. And yearning, Sri Ramakrishna says, He is the crimson in the horizon. The sun will come. God realization will come. So God realization is cultivating interest and yearning. How to cultivate? Step by step, which we already discussed.
Is it necessary to practice pranayama to awaken Kundalini Shakti? Many people they talk about that.
Yes. First of all, this Kundalini itself is a more or less very, very hazy idea of Kundalini. Kundalini, nobody knows what they mean by Kundalini. Somebody says Kundalini, another also says Kundalini. What is this Kundalini? It was Swami Vivekananda who has put it in a very, very clear term, and the other direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna himself. It is the sleeping state of our own mind, sleeping state of our own soul. We have forgotten that I am the soul and I am thinking that I am the body, identification with the body, and forgetting that I am the soul. This forgetfulness is called the Kundalini, and Kundalini is supposed to be at the lowest end of the backbone. And then that means we are in a sleepy state. So awakening of the Kundalini means become more and more aware that I have got higher purpose in life. Not only eating, drinking, and having some sense pleasure, but the goal of human life is to get something permanent. Some immortal life you must get. I must overcome death. First of all, overcome the fear of death. Afterwards, you feel there is no death at all for you. You are a spiritual person. You are never born. You never die. This knowledge must come. There is a higher purpose in life to become aware of that. This awakening is called awakening of Kundalini. It is our own mind. Sleepiness of the mind, we call it sleeping Kundalini. Awakened Kundalini is we become aware. There is a higher purpose. Like Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was sent to school. He said, I don't want to learn. Then what will you do for your life? No, I will eke out my life in my own way. My father did not go to earn money. He did his duties and then he got whatever he wanted in life. I will also do like that. But I want God. Why God? So God's knowledge gives me peace and joy, permanent. I can give it to others also. But this school, bookish education does not give you anything. So he did not go. So like that, here, with this Kundalini, the awakening to the truth, that we have got something higher to do. That is the awakening of the Kundalini. But most of the teachers, especially of the Ramakrishna order, Swami Brahmananda, he says Kundalini need not to worry about it. Bhakti itself enough, it awakens the Kundalini. That means you become more and more aware and realize God. So Swami Brahmananda and others, they say there is no necessity of awakening the Kundalini. There is no necessity for it. But in Raj Yoga, they say Kundalini must be awakened. For that they say some Pranayama, etc. Swami Vivekananda has indicated certain types of Pranayama. At the same time he has told, you must do this under the guidance of a Guru, not separate, alone. That means it is not a very safe one. So Kundalini awakening, first of all, is not necessary for spiritual progress. Without that, real bhakti, love of God is enough. One can attain the highest. And if somebody is very much interested in awakening Kundalini, that's called the Raj Yoga. You must do it under the guidance of a competent Guru. That's what it means.
We are very grateful to Swamiji for answering our questions. And many spiritual seekers, those who are traveling on the path of spirituality, it will be real help for them. Because we have all sorts of questions in our minds, but we don't get proper solutions. And sometimes we get rather wrong answers, wrong interpretations. So today we got correct answers for our questions, and there is no magic or miracle in spiritual life, and how it can be lead in living in this world. So Swamiji has given satisfactory answers to all our questions, and we are all happy to Swamiji. Once again, we are grateful to him. I offer him my Sastang Pranam on behalf of Mutt and behalf of all devotees. And we are very happy that Maharaj could spare a lot of time and patiently he has answered all our questions. So once again, I thanks him and I may offer my pranam to him. Namaskar, pranams.